Good morning.
Morning, guys. Welcome to WRME Live. It is me, Christine Surratt, the office manager, and this is Aaron Burns, who does not talk near as much as me. And that is okay.
I threw stuff. Hope it didn't make a big click. Sorry. Exactly.
Like a rhino dropping bowling balls down the stairs.
Well, you never know. Like when me and Carl's up here doing something, you'll comment, you're like, that's really loud. And we're like, what are we doing? And it'll be him. He set a pencil down or something, and it just echoes.
I think this table's better than the last one in the sense of the resonating. Oh, goodness. We
definitely like having, I told Carl, I was like, being short, I don't feel a shirt when I get a table in front of me where I can put my arms on.
It does help. It helps balance us out a number of things. Oh, quick Carl update. He is out of ICU, as you guys may or may not know. He is now, he's had a surgery for bed sores. There were some pretty bad ones, one down to the bone. The bad part of that is he had to have surgery, but it went quick and smooth. And the good part about that is he can stay at the hospital for a couple more weeks. And the reason we like that is because this hospital allows visitors. One visitor, which means mom can go visit him every day.
Wifey can sit there and be like, no. You were told no.
Behave. And
quit harassing nurses.
While beforehand, they were very likely to shuffle him off to a rehab facility or long-term care hospital within a couple of days. So they moved him from ICU to a room and said, you have like 2 days to figure things out and figure out where you're going to go. Bye. And then they discovered how bad those bed sores were, got them fixed. And because it was a surgery, he has to stay there under observation for 2 to 6 weeks. Kind of a broad window, but hey, that's still 2 weeks for mom to do research and for us to help however we can. Thank you guys for your prayers. I can't say it enough how much we appreciate them. But now we get to go to the topic. Pancakes are the best.
I miss him because I'm stuck with her.
I know. Aren't I amazingly annoying? Even I'm sick of me.
You're vibrating.
Is my phone vibrating? Oh, world, I'm sorry. There we go. We'll deal with it that way.
I like pancakes, but I like waffles.
I mean, I got into a borderline tiff with my husband about waffles are better. And I'm like, no, pancakes are better.
I like waffles because they're a little bit crispier and they don't automatically absorb the syrup quickly and become soggy.
Well, and that's what some people do. They're crispier, but they have the little pockets, so they kind of keep the syrup in place. Exactly. But the reason I like pancakes is because I'm one of those people that likes my pancakes to go swimming. And so I saturate it so much that the top pancake is well soaked, but the bottom isn't quite there. So by the time I eat through that top pancake, the bottom is just starting to soak it in, and I'm kind of sick of the syrup by then, and so I have a lower level of syrup on the bottom pancake. But everyone's different, and we're using this to segue to the difference between buyers and, between homeowners and renters. I'm a big proponent that it's got to be whatever's best for you. I'm personally biased towards being a homeowner. I am one myself. And I like that I have the equity. I like that it's not going to someone else's pocketbook, sparing maybe the bank and the government.
Well, you're not necessarily biased. You just, like you know the benefits of owning. It's an investment. It's one of the bigger investments you're ever going to make. Mm-hmm. And as long as you upkeep the property, you make your payments, and it's a great investment. But I also know from personal experience, sometimes it's not an option to buy. Sometimes you're in a situation, or you're a single person,
or just your lifestyle in general.
You're not a handy person to be able to fix stuff, because when you're a homeowner, you got to be able to pay someone to fix it or fix it yourself.
Willing to YouTube and learn, or go to a VOTEC. There are classes at the VOTEC on basic home maintenance.
Right, but some are expensive. Home ownership can be expensive. Upkeeps, heat and air, roofs, stuff like that.
And then there's the polar opposite side is renting, where someone else is responsible for the roof and repairs. And I know quite a few people that like that until they want to pay cash for a home whenever they get there. But in the meantime, their lifestyle is very accommodated by someone else mowing their little postage stamp yard, or They only have to mow a minimum amount of yard. They don't have to do any landscaping, and they have no desire to do it.
There's another side to that. You can own into a condo or a townhouse something where you include, but you still could have...
That's that happy middle.
Yes, a copy, a portion of the roof. If the roof needs redone on the 4 units that are all connected, then you have to pay a fourth of that cost. So there still can be some expensive costs even in that situation, but you might not have to worry about the lawn maintenance and the outside upkeep.
Or something such as a pool. Some people love having a pool, but they don't want to deal with the maintenance. And for some people, that's why they rent in like an apartment complex. There are also condos and townhouse setups that follow that similar template where, yes, there is a pool. You pay a fee every year towards something the equivalent of an HOA, but it's slightly different for townhouses. But you pay that lump fee once a year and someone else mows the yard. Someone else takes care of the pool while you still have the benefit of planting flowers in your flower bed if you want, or going to the pool.
But just like an apartment or something, there can be a downside. You don't have a nice big shop if you need one. You can only have so many cars out in the parking lot.
Or you're sharing a wall with someone. In some places, it's a good thick wall. Sometimes it doesn't matter how good the wall is when the neighbor likes to play the trombone at 2 a.m.
But there's that on home ownership side. If you're in an HOA and it's strict or there's certain requirements by the city, you still might be limited on some things. So just because you own doesn't mean you're just going to be able to do whatever you want.
Oh, no, gosh, no. Same with renting. Renting, you have this long list of rules, and some people think that if they're no longer renting, they're going to be free. Yes and no. It is your land. You can put a vegetable garden all over the front yard if you want, if your HOA doesn't mind, or go to a place that doesn't have an HOA.
Or the city restrictions. In Mustang, for instance, you can have so many chickens in city limits.
Up to 6, no roosters.
No roosters. So there are, and that's another thing. Figure out if you're in a city limits or whatever, figure out where and what. Because if somebody calls and reports you for having chickens and you're not supposed to, or having roosters, guess what? You got to get rid of them.
And for lack of better wording, every city kind of has a unspoken gray area on those rules, such as in the outskirts of Mustang, there are certain little pocket neighborhoods where you could say they had chickens, hypothetically.
Right.
And the neighbors don't mind because of how out to the outskirts they are. Yes, they could call the city and go get rid of those chickens, but they're so far out they don't mind, and it's not a big deal to them.
That, and sometimes if you just take a dozen egg over to your neighbor every once in a while, they
Fresh
tend
eggs,
to,
barter system, or it just works out. But the thing is, you got to know where there is societal grace and understand that the city could still come in and go, yeah, no, we found out about your chickens. We got enough complaints. Right. We can't turn a blind eye anymore. They got to go. So you need to know before you get into it. I know this bit. My mother-in-law, for example, she moved out of Mustang specifically. She could have chickens. She wanted 1 acre. She wanted a shop. She got everything she wanted. But no one told her that there was an HOA or covenants. And the covenants are very, very strict. And one of the very first things on there, no chickens. And so she was a little bit sad that she couldn't have any chickens whatsoever, even if they're just 3 or 4 laying hens.
So it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of nowhere or not, or outside of city limits. Check an HOA, check any restrictions.
Or there are some, there's some quirky apartment complexes in Oklahoma City where there are chickens outside, where clearly the landlord does not care. He probably gets eggs, I'm just saying. But it's one of those things. Just because the city doesn't say it doesn't mean there aren't societal gray spots where people just kind of turn a blind eye because it's a chicken. But you don't know this. You need to know the rules up front. So that way, if you do get called in, you're taken care of, or you know what it was going to happen one day or another.
So whether you're renting, buying, or whatever, do your research. Figure out what's best for you.
And whether it's a waffle or a pancake or some weird waffle pancake hybrid, you just got to figure it out.
Waffles and chicken, or pancakes and chicken.
Oh, chicken and waffles.
Grilled chicken. Pancakes and grilled chicken was good, though.
I've had fried chicken with maple syrup, and it is okay. But for whatever reason, I don't want them on the same plate. It feels wrong. But then again, I can't have much gluten.
Those chopped little cubes of grilled chicken with the maple syrup and pancakes was really good. Even Carl liked it. I was like, man, this is so good. So he ate some, and he's like, it is good. So
It'd have to be gluten-free. and like not breaded, which immediately makes it sad
So,
chicken and waffles.
Don't be afraid to try something new.
Ask questions,
Or ask
make
questions.
mistakes. Sorry, Mrs. Frizzle. And but yeah, do some
your
research. So that way, when you do decide to buy a house or sort of step out of renting, you get into, you know that you need a townhouse or a condo compared to buying a regular house. Or what if you're downsizing or you're having a big life change and you need to go from owning a house to renting? You now know what you're looking for, and you might pick something in the middle like a townhouse, or you'll realize that I really just need a little tiny apartment. I pretty much live in Florida 6 months out of the year, but I want to be here for the holidays, for my grandkids or my stepkids or whatever. I know she'd live in Florida if she could convince her
For 6 months
husband.
out of the year. At least 2 or 3 of the cold months.
Maybe 2 weeks out of the year total for me, but besides the point. Thank you guys for joining us on this pancake waffle adventure.
Comment. We want to hear.
Wait.
What's your pros and cons?
Here's the question of the day. Peanut butter on pancakes or waffles? Yes, no, and which one's better?
Neither. No, here's the thing. Don't be ashamed if you have to rent or rent. Everybody at some point rents.
Absolutely, and it's okay.
And some people are never able to buy. It was
Due
a
to
while,
medical reasons,
whatever.
destroying their credit
So,
or
don't-
life, etc.
Don't
It's
think
okay.
we're bashing or anything lowly of yourself if you can't purchase. There's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
But do your research if you're just a straight out renter and you have to rent. Still do your research. It's important to know landlord, house, where it's at, school. There's so much to know.
Also, there's a fun middle ground where you like buy a duplex and you rent out one side and then let someone else rent out the other side.
Still got to have the money to do that.
Yeah, true.
So,
Getting there.
Either way, do your research one way or another. We are here to answer questions, whether it's rentals or not. I've helped people find rentals before.
Or the best place for pancakes.
Yep.
I'm going to ruin it for you. Not IHOP.
Mom and pop little country place is usually the best.
Bigger blueberries, yes. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us again. In the meantime, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. This is WRME Live, where we do real life, real world, real estate every day.
Bye, guys.